Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Backstage Stories. Welcome to my apartment. Welcome back to my apartment. My name is Joe Carroll. I am so happy to be here. This week, we have a guest that I have never met. This is someone who I have no personal relationship with whatsoever. That's not totally true and also not wildly funny. But this week, we have the brilliant Alex Finke is joining us. My wife. It's on this. This is supposed to be on the other hand. What is going on with this? That might be because we're going to play a guitar song later. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'm so excited to interview my wife. She's literally in the other room. We have a tiny 1-bedroom apartment. So she's listening to all of this and making faces at me from over there, but I'm just going to embarrass her even more and go through her bio a little bit. Alex Finke is a singer, actor, and dancer based in New York City. She was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, as was I. Actually, I was born in Dayton, Ohio, which was one of the very first things that we connected on when we were in college together. She's always had a love of performing. She grew up taking dance lessons and singing in choirs and producing dozens of shows for friends and relatives in her basement. Alex is a graduate of the University of Michigan, has a BFA in musical theater. That's where we met. After graduation, Alex originated the role of Hope Harcourt on the first national tour of Roundabout Theater Company's Tony Award-winning revival of Anything Goes, directed by Kathleen Marshall. She was 22. Alex made her Broadway debut starring as Cosette in the Broadway revival of Les Mis, alongside Alfie Boe. If you have not heard Alfie Boe sing, stop what you're doing, get off of this show, and go listen to that guy. Actually, don't do it right now, but later listen to that guy sing. After Les Mis, she closed Les Mis shortly thereafter. She originated the role of Joanna in the critically acclaimed revival of Sweeney Todd at the Barrow Street Theater. We're going to talk about this. This was an immersive production in a pie shop. All of the actors were on top of all of the audience members. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen and one of the best experiences that I know that she's ever had. It was immersive. It was so cool. And most recently on Broadway, Alex was in the Tony Award-winning musical Come From Away. She played Janice and others. And what is happening with that fish? And what is happening with the bootcut jeans? Alex Finke, you want to come sit next to me on the couch? Yay!
What a commute.
What a commute. That's funny.
So we got really a lot of square footage in here, babe.
We have no square footage in here. This is our home.
Welcome.
This is our couch. This is our bookshelf that was curated. Who curated
the bookshelf? I styled it. I've restyled it how many times in COVID? Maybe
well, that
20?
was actually my first question. One of my first questions was how you're staying sane during the pandemic. And this is one of them.
I don't know. How am I staying? I feel like this is more of a question for you. Am I? Really, the question is, am I staying sane in the pandemic?
Well, yeah.
You
yes.
hesitated.
I hesitated. Our closets look amazing.
Thank you.
Our cabinets, our bookshelves. You have the design bug.
I do have the design bug.
So the design bug has been a thing. That's been a big part of us being locked in our 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was probably the big thing. How did we meet?
How did we meet?
Do you remember how we met?
Of course I do. How could I forget, dear? We met at the University of Michigan our freshman year, and it was actually my first night. You did summer orientation. I did fall orientation.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved in, and my mom was actually staying with me in my dorm room because she lived at home during college. So she'd never stayed in a dorm. So she was like, "Can I stay in your dorm room before your roommate moves in?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I was a horrible daughter. I got invited by Joel Sparks, who was in our musical theater class.
Yep.
He was having everybody that had moved into his dorm for late night cookies. So I was like, awesome, Mom, sorry, you can't come. I'm so mean. Anyway.
No, you're so nice. Like, who invites their mom to stay with them? I mean, like, in the dorm. That was a very nice thing that you did.
Oh, it was, anyway. But
then you're like,
so I was like, I'm going to go meet all my classmates. You know, threw on some men's basketball shorts and like my oversized free sweatshirt you got when you signed up for your university checking account. And showed up to Joel Sparks' room. Lanyard? Yeah, I wore my lanyard with my room key around my neck because I was so afraid I was going to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big rule follower, so I was like, I can't lose the key because something horrible would have happened. I would have been arrested, I'm sure. And I walked into Joel Sparks' dorm room and across the crowded room,
met her husband.
This handsome fellow was sitting in a wheelie chair by the window, and I was like, "Oh boy, I'm in trouble." And what is this outfit?
And it was an oversized TCF sweatshirt.
TCF banking sweatshirt, like extra, extra, extra large, and my cousin's basketball shorts.
Yep. That's
and my fake Uggs, which you called my loaves of bread shoes.
Loaves of bread shoes because they look like loaves of bread on your feet.
Still snatched them though.
Yeah, well, hey, listen.
I'm just that alluring.
First of all, I love you very much. And thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this show. Thank you for talking to the people of Broadway Grand Rapids.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I love Broadway Grand Rapids.
You technically were here for the last one. You were just in the other room.
I was.
As I talked to Brian Martin.
Yeah.
But we're here. We're celebrating Broadway Grand Rapids. We're talking about touring shows. We all desperately want theater to come back.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to Come From Away a little bit later, which you obviously did on Broadway. But I just want to know what you remember about touring through Grand Rapids with Anything Goes right after school. We graduated. I remember where I was when you called me and told me that you were going to play Hope Harcourt in the national tour. I was standing out in the front yard of my mom's house, and I remember, and I've told you this before, but I was like, she's going to be famous. Like, you were like, I'm going to play Hope Harcourt on the national tour.
Sorry,
and I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to leave me for someone more famous. That's what's going to happen. Thank God it didn't. But what do you remember about that experience?
Oh my gosh, so many things. I mean, Grand Rapids was, and I'm not saying this for extra flattery, it's one of the more beautiful theaters that we played for sure. I remember being just so amazed by the renovation that had been done there. It's such a beautiful theater. I got my own dressing room there, which was really fun. And I think it was actually the biggest dressing room I had on tour. So thanks, guys. You really know how to make a girl feel special. But really, like, the thing I really remember about Grand Rapids was, like, I got to stay with your parents. So, and Grand Rapids is, like, I mean, the longer we're together, the more it feels like home for me. But it was actually one of those stops on tour where, and you know this, like, sometimes the traveling can be really, really hard. And I had a hard time living out of a suitcase sometimes. But, like, I felt like I was home for my week in Grand Rapids. And, I mean, your parents are the best. And they just, you know,
Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
I think my
Sandy.
mom's out there.
Like, I'd been doing, you know, everyone thinks, oh, tour's so glamorous. But in actuality, was doing my laundry in a hotel bathtub for a year and 4 months, except in Grand Rapids. Love your laundry room, Sandy. And I really loved your cooking.
Well, I think it's something that's really, I think important because like the way that I know the people, the subscribers to Broadway Grand Rapids want to embrace casts as they come through town, that like we appreciate that, you appreciated that, like the mixers and the you know stuff with donors and people, you know, like you're aching for a home cooked meal, you're aching for a laundry room because you played all, you know, dozens and dozens of cities for over, you know, a year and a half. That must that yes, it's cool, but you're like you said, it's not that glamorous.
No,
actually.
It's not. But I will say, and anytime we have friends going on tour and they say they're going through Grand Rapids, I'm like, you're gonna love Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is the best. And it really was. Like it was a stop on the road where I felt like I just got to be at home. And that's everything to do with your family and how generous they are of themselves and with their friends and building community. But that's also Grand Rapids too. So
yeah. What was the first? I remember the first time you came to Grand Rapids. You remember the first time you came to Grand Rapids?
Well, it was freshman year.
That was the first time. Yes. So it was spring break. I decided to take them to Northern Michigan for spring break, which was not a spring break at all. It was snowing and it was really fun. We had like a cozy, like Glen Arbor spring break freshman year of college with a bunch of friends.
Yeah, so that was the first time.
That was the first time. And then you saw my sister in State Fair.
I sure did.
At East Grand Rapids High School in 2010, 11, something like that.
I'm going to go with 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 10.
So if there's anybody else that has seen that saw that famed production of State Fair starring Frances Carroll, who definitely isn't going to watch this because she hates me.
She was the best balloon seller I've ever seen.
Yeah. So you got to see a show at East Grand Rapids High School.
Yes, which was also super cool because you know where I went to high school. Alter High School is not we don't have it. We really have a multi-purpose room is our theater.
Did you call it cafeteria?
It's gymnasium? A gymnacafetorium. It really is like, you want to go to a basketball game? You're doing it in this room. You want to have a luncheon? It's in this room. You're going to have a play? It's in this room. Like there was no backstage area at all.
Gymnacafetorium.
Who knows? But like you literally, if you were exiting one side of the stage and re-entering another, you had to go outside of the building and run. Like you'd sprint.
Yeah.
Run around to make your next entrance. There's no you can't tell what's happening in the show. And if it was raining, you re-entered wet.
Did that actually happen? Did that ever happen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Rainstorms during Peter Pan or something?
We never did. We couldn't fly in Peter Pan. We didn't do Peter Pan there.
I thought you did Peter Pan at
that was the community.
That was the community. Yeah. Okay. I know I listened to you.
You
I promise. I know. Okay. More touring stuff, more what would you say, like we talked about this last week about like the importance of tours, the importance of touring, you know, show markets and things like that. Like why are tours important?
Oh my gosh. Just speaking as my younger self, the only access I had to theater and to my dream and what I wanted to do with my life was through whatever shows happened to be touring through Dayton, Ohio or Cincinnati, Ohio. Like
right.
that's how I saw anything live. That was my outlet to what that was. I didn't go to New York. I came to New York for the first time when I was 16. So
right.
Touring was extremely important for me as a young person and a young artist. Like I still remember my parents never pulled me out of school for anything. And they pulled me out of school in the 3rd grade to go see The King and I downtown. It was the best day of my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember you said, we were talking about it the other day, that you were like, I got to see my dream right down the street from my house. You know, like you got to actually see it.
Yeah. That's as close as you can get to experiencing it or even knowing that that's what I wanted to do. That was all through touring markets.
Yeah.
And then, so that's like as my young self, like incredibly important and informative. And then as an adult, especially going on tour right after college, I got to see the country. I feel like I got paid to go to grad school in a way that's how the tour felt to me.
Right.
Because
I remember you saying that.
Because there were so many things I'd never dealt with before. I'd never led a company. I'd never done 8 shows a week for that long. I'd never done press. I'd never there's so many things. And
you'd never performed on Wood TV 8 before.
Surely not.
Well, that's something that I think is worth, you know, mentioning, that like we got into this because we love doing the high school show.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of those. It's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, grandma comes, show's over. And then you go to college and it's the same thing. You do it 3 times. And then maybe you do a regional job and it's like
2 weeks,
maybe 2 weeks of the same show. And then
Yeah.
you graduate and they're like, oh, you're going to do 500 performances of Anything Goes.
Yeah.
How
Or
do you-
I think I did like, I wish I could remember my final number. I think I was at like 875 of Come From Away. It was like almost
Yes.
900.
Well, that
I
was
was
a-
close to 1,000.
Almost
which is insane.
900, nearly 1,000 shows have come from away. So we'll talk about that in a moment because there's absolutely nothing to cover as far as Come From Away is concerned.
No.
Favorite restaurant in Grand Rapids?
Ostas.
Ostas in East Grand Rapids.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I was expecting. Lovely.
Ostas. Well, we did have that amazing.
But that's so cool. I mean, Ostas is like our family. If you guys don't know Ostas in East Grand Rapids, it is a tiny family-owned place that my sister would go to, and she introduced us to it. Like, she was her favorite restaurant in high school, like to go there for lunch or something.
Yeah.
And so now we like every time we get it, when we get home, it's
You
just
know-
the best.
You know, I became obsessed in the pandemic when we were spending time
Yeah.
with your family. But I also,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's so many things in Grand Rapids that also have like sentimental.
Mhm.
We had your mom's surprise 60th at Ruth's Chris.
Right.
And the Lumber Baron Bar.
Right. Okay, so Ruth's Chris, technically not like born and bred,
Right, so
but
like-
it's a chain, but like it's fierce. Like we love.
And not a restaurant, but Mokaya.
Yes, if we don't know, okay. So Max and Smitty Golchinski and the Golchinski family are geniuses.
My
I
mouth
think
is
they
literally wet.
know. We have some over there. My mom sent us some Mokaya for Valentine's Day
We're
because
spoiled.
my mom sends us Valentine's presents. But Mokaya, yes, absolutely.
My mouth's literally watering.
Yeah. So that's gonna be dessert tonight for sure. That was one of the coolest things ever. You were in Come From Away,
Mhm.
and I was in Frozen, and it was my mom's 60th birthday. And you know, when we work on Broadway or tours in our business, we miss tons of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because we're performing while everybody else has time off. And we got to be there for my mom's 60th birthday. We flew in. It was on a Monday night, so we flew in.
Monday morning.
My now future brother-in-law and sister picked us up from the airport.
Mhm.
We went to their house, which is over in Alger Heights, and then we went to Founders, and we had a beer. We were hiding from my mother.
Yeah.
Went to Founders for a beer. Went to Ruth's Chris, and we were sitting there, and she like turned the corner, and we were sitting there. It was like, hey! And she totally. That was one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
Coolest things ever. That was a
Yeah.
great night. And then the Lumber Baron Bar, very, very cool. Okay, we're gonna do a couple rapid rounds. We're gonna do a few of these,
Okay.
and these are the easiest questions. Well, I don't know, maybe they're not.
I don't know. You know me. You give me like a time limit on something, I just panic.
Honestly, you were super nervous about doing this, or you're sitting over there like nervous before this. I was like, I'm gonna ask you on my Broadway Grand Rapids show, and we're gonna be idiots, and it's gonna be silly, and
I
then
get
we're gonna have
nervous
dinner.
for
But she
everything.
got nervous. Thank you for humoring me.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh, this is
rapid
so
round. Rapid round.
okay.
Wolverines or Spartans?
I'm sorry. What even is that other team? Of course, it's the
Absolutely.
Wolverines.
Also, Buckeyes. We have a Buckeye because you're from Ohio.
Yeah.
My whole entire family on my dad's side went to Ohio State. We both went to Michigan. You're from Ohio, so there we have this weird relationship with Ohio State.
No,
Obviously,
we don't. Go blue.
That's it. That's it. That's the answer. Blueberries or cherries?
Cherries.
Freshwater or saltwater?
Freshwater.
Now, this is slightly
I'm
offensive.
not even sucking up.
No, you got all of the answers right,
All
but
right.
this is a trick question. Glen Arbor or Grand Rapids? It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
I may have to say Glen Arbor.
And that's all the time we have for
So
today. No, I'm
sorry.
just kidding. I'm kidding. Come back. No, it is. It's our favorite place on earth. It's our favorite place on earth.
Well, I went there too. I grew up
yes.
going there
Right,
before
right,
I ever even
right,
knew
right.
you.
Of course. Okay, so that was the second thing because I was born in Dayton. You were born in Dayton. So freshman year of college, we were like, hey, you're cute, and I'm like looking for something to talk to you about. Where are you from? You're from Dayton. Oh my gosh, me too. I was in. I had something to talk about. Oh my gosh, you went to Glen Arbor to vacation? Number 2. Hey, so that was really but we love Glen Arbor.
Yeah.
It was great to spend some time there this summer and to spend a bunch of time in Grand Rapids in the midst of
Yeah.
this like horribleness my mother took us in when we needed it from New York. So that was very cool.
Yeah. The
Um,
mama and the papa.
We're going to show a video number 1,
Okay.
actually the only video, because then the next thing we're going to do something live in about 10-15 minutes. But we're going to play a video.
Okay.
And this is a video from Les Mis.
How?
And it's from YouTube. And I this is one of my favorite moments from the show. It's going to be fun to do a little walk down memory lane for your Broadway debut, because it was so exciting to go through that with you. And I have so many fond memories of that time. But since we don't have, all we have is YouTube, and we have
Right.
Hamilton on Disney Plus, and we have the Broadway Grand Rapids Backstage Stories hosted by Joe. Here is this video of Alex as a baby singing one of the highest notes that any human being can possibly hit. Here we go.
Oh God, did I hit it this day?
Every day you walk a stronger step, you'll take longer step, the worst is over. Every day, I wonder every day, was it wrong here from the very beginning? Don't think about it now, you spent all the years and wonders, I will never go away, and we will be together.
That note.
That's a different song.
I know, but it's like this. Literally my favorite show. That was, come on.
Yeah.
How high is that note? What is that note?
It's a C. It's a high C.
That's the highest note that anyone's ever heard.
It's not, but it's pianissimo.
It was so,
It's so
it was
tiny.
so beautiful.
Thank you. They maybe do it like 8 times in the audition.
That's what I wanted to talk about, was that audition process, because they were recording it.
Yeah.
To send to Cameron McIntosh,
Yes.
who's the producer.
Yes.
Who was at the time
Yes.
on a yacht in the middle of the Mediterranean,
Yes.
and no one could find him, and they needed to bring him an iPad with your performance on it.
Yes.
So that he could approve of you for the show.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's
That's
something
the lore,
like that.
right?
Well,
Yes.
it's sort of like an infamous thing with him that like he's kind of doing his own thing, and that sometimes the casting process can be drawn out because he doesn't want to watch the videos. He just isn't in the place to make the decision. So meanwhile, I go in for my final callback, and they're videoing it because Cameron McIntosh can't be there. And
Which audition? How many times had you gone at this
2.
point?
I only
Just
went.
2. Okay.
I went in 2 times, and they filmed the callback, and they made me do that final note like 8 times. Because they were like, and they were so specific. They're like, okay, so we need you straight tone for this many counts, and then have the vibrato kick in. And then they were just seeing like, if it was even this much off, they'd have me redo it. Like if it was this much sharp or this much flat, they would have me redo it until it was like right in the center of the pitch, did it exactly as they wanted, which actually like in the audition felt great, because I really felt like, I'm like, oh, they want my tape to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, oh, you're helping me out. Thanks.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Crazy. But it was like a recording session almost more than an audition.
Yeah. Because I guess, Cameron's notoriously picky, and they're very picky about the show.
Yeah.
So they're always like looking for a reason to not hire someone.
Where did you get the call that you were going to make your Broadway debut?
I missed the call. I was on the subway, coming back to my apartment from Trader Joe's, and I'd been waiting for the call for I go in for my final call back, and they're like, you'll know by the end of the week. I'm not kidding you. 6 weeks later, like 6. It was a long time. So I had
Brutal.
let it go.
Yeah.
And then I saw a phone call from my agent on the train and I couldn't pick it up because I didn't have service.
Mhm.
And something in my brain, I was like, maybe he's calling about Les Mis. No, it's over. No, that's not what he's calling about.
Right. Right.
And I
Right.
was like, I'll just get home and then I'll call him back. And I got out of the train. It is raining and I'm
Yeah.
carrying my groceries and I couldn't wait. Something inside me was like, call now, call now. So I'm like juggling the phone like this. And I had been up for another job and he was like, hey, do you remember that play you auditioned for in Pittsburgh? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you didn't get it. I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, but do you remember when you auditioned for Cosette and Les Mis on Broadway?
No.
And I was like, yeah. He was like, you got that. I was like, what? I was in the middle of the sidewalk and
Oh my god.
I sat down with my wet grocery bags and just cried in the middle of the sidewalk in Harlem.
Why would he lead with the Pittsburgh job?
Because he's so,
It's just like, hey,
just
so
a
yeah,
little
this
fun.
oh my god,
Just a
just a
little
little fun.
fun.
Yeah, he was having fun.
he
with
wanted,
it.
it's fun for him too.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I remember
And then I called you.
and then you called me and you said, and also having some fun. You were being very cheeky. You said, will you do you mind helping me learn what did you say? Hey, so I have some news. Would you mind helping me learn all the music for Les Mis? Or something like that. And I was
I don't
like,
even
what?
remember that.
Yes.
I said
Yeah.
that.
And I was like, what? And I was like, what? This means you got it. And the freaking out. And then in your old apartment, it was you could hear like the stairwell. You could hear
Yeah.
anything that happened in the stairwell.
like a
There's like just a rickety old
Fifth
building.
floor walk up.
Fifth floor walk up. And so I walked into the stairwell and started singing One Day More,
I could hear
marching up the stairs anyway, very, very silly. Les
him.
Mis.
You brought champagne.
It's
That
one of
was
my
so
favorite
nice.
shows of all time. And she got to be in it. And the closing night performance of that was unbelievable to get to close the show.
That was wild.
That was wild.
I've
It was
never,
a rock concert.
I don't know
It was
that
an
I'll ever
absolute rock
experience
concert.
anything like that again.
So
People
freaking
came
cool.
dressed up. It
Yeah.
was,
People had seen it dozens of times. You know.
I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of like the downbeat was like boom, boom. And it was like, what? Like
Yeah.
multiple standing ovations.
Everybody
throughout
got
the
entrance
performance.
applause. It was cool.
And
it was a very cool
it
night.
was, it's
It was a very
really
cool night.
emotional too, being in it like backstage because so many people die in that show. So
I don't
no,
know
I'm serious. Like
why-
so many people die, and like that's the end of their
yeah.
storyline.
Yeah.
So like Eponine, Brennan Lark does a Little Fall of Rain and dies, and then she's not. That's done. Her show
show's
is
over.
done. So
Yes.
it was really beautiful because the entire show, everyone was just watching in the wings.
She is the first to fall.
And she
the
came up,
first
and we
upon
all
this
would just like hug and
barricade.
cry.
Oh my god.
So it was really emotional. Except me, Adam, 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 me, Adam.
Oh shoot, my microphone just stopped working. Oh, I hope everybody. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me okay? Megan, are we out there? Maybe. Maybe. Let's just go like this, just in case. Yes. Okay, good.
Oh.
Okay, good. We just got this alert, like maybe something was wrong, but that's okay. We'll just keep talking. Oh, hi, Mom.
Oh,
My
hi,
mom
Sandy.
says that she can hear. Great.
Are we doing okay?
We're doing okay. So now, there she is. I'm not sure what's going on now.
Oh,
Newlywed Game. Right.
Newlywed Game.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that
Oh
picture.
my gosh. That babies. Look at how far we came. Oh, that's
You're so
what
handsome.
that's what you call a glow up.
You're handsome.
That's what you call a glow up. You're so beautiful. So we're gonna play this game. Megan's gonna come on. Our producer Megan Distel's out there in Zoom land, and she's
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hi, Megan.
How's everybody doing?
fabulous.
I gotta turn off my extra mic over there, and so fun.
Okay.
So,
This is great. So this was 100% your idea.
well, we want to do something fun, a little different than the trivia, and we wanted to thought it would be fun for our audience to see how well you guys know each other. I know it's been a couple of years, obviously a long time that you've known each other, but what more fun could we have than surprising you with some fun questions? So,
Amazing.
you guys ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say the question, and then you guys just like 1, 2, 3 answer. Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Great.
Number 1. Who said I love you first?
Joe.
Oh, okay. No, you agreed on that one.
Okay, this is very
Wait,
fun. Okay, so this is
I'll
a good
get
thing.
it. I have to.
Oh
get
yeah,
it.
so get that off the what? So it was in college, and we built a fort in college, like a kid's fort. You get the cushions and the blankets and whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was raining or something. And we were just goofing around. So it was like, we built this big fort and we made this sign. It says Joe and Alex's awesome
Aw.
fort.
Oh my gosh, and it's framed. That's so cute.
And,
He
and
gave
that,
it to me on our wedding day. I didn't know he had the sign.
What?
He told me he
Oh
loved
my gosh, you guys, honestly, I don't know.
yeah.
Could be any cuter. That is adorable. So,
Yeah.
so Joe said it first. Okay.
Joe
So
said it
now,
first.
now we know. Who had the better grades at U of M?
me.
Another easy one? Okay.
Yes, we're 2 for
Okay.
2.
Okay. 2 for 2. All right. So
I'm a
Would-
solid. I am a solid B student.
But you're an A+ in my book.
Oh.
nice, nice. Okay. Number 3, would Joe rather go to Zingerman's for a sandwich or Art's Tavern for a beer? 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna go with Zingerman.
Oh.
Am I wrong? You'd go to Arts?
I would go to Arts. but
Okay.
I
Not
would-
because you get a burger with your beer at
I
Arts?
would. I would. And,
This was my
and
thought.
Arts is in Glen Arbor, but I've not been to Ann Arbor in so long that I think that like right now today I would
Yeah.
probably go to Zingerman's.
I just went.
So you do win.
I
technically.
just went beer versus sandwich.
Right.
That's where my brain went.
Well, two
Yeah.
two special places, right? So,
Totally.
okay. I heard a rumor maybe Alex has a brother who plays football at Notre Dame. He did play at Notre Dame. So the question is, he's playing on Notre Dame's team against Michigan. Who does Alex root for?
Wow, she roots for Notre Dame. It's a really good.
Yeah.
That's an excellent question.
Yeah? Okay.
It was a weird
I do.
4 years, but that was like a no-brainer. When Chris was on the team, it was like
No
it was a little
brainer.
weird. It was you. There was no part of you that
There was
rooted
no
for,
weirdness
for
for me.
Michigan. It was like
No.
blood is on Notre Dame's football team. Chris had this amazing catch against Michigan, where this was in 2018,
I
maybe
think.
19, and he like goes up over 2 Michigan defenders and catches a touchdown, like a 60-yard touchdown pass. And
Wow.
like, Alex is just like, yeah, there's
Well-
like there's no.
The people in the bar were very confused because you were head to toe in Michigan gear with some of our buddies, but
Yeah.
then my brother caught the touchdown. They're like, yeah!
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. How awesome.
Sure.
That's incredible to have your brother be playing like that. How much fun. Okay. Next question, guys. Who's most likely to win a game of Monopoly?
Wow,
Oh.
we actually played an unbelievable amount of Monopoly. What's the card game? What was it called? Monopoly Deal.
Okay.
Yeah, Monopoly Deal. And me.
Joe. Okay. More competitive?
Alex.
No, I'm more competitive.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm
Um,
not backed up in Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Joe's go-to karaoke song?
We don't do karaoke.
We don't do a lot of karaoke because
Okay. How about sing in the shower? What's Joe's go-to? He's singing in the shower, Alex.
Recently, it's been, I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's been Leaf.
Oh, Leif Vollebeck. Is a like I get maybe Swedish. It's I like I like sad acoustic music. And I like to feel my feelings.
Yeah.
And so I started doing this thing in the shower where the days are so terrible that I go in the shower and I turn all the lights off and I listen to sad acoustic music.
Oh my gosh.
Just
Oh.
don't feel
That's
bad for me. We're doing
Life
okay.
in the pandemic. It's life in the pandemic. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, I'm saying him.
yeah.
What is the one show you most want to star in together?
Ooh.
Each of you pick one or try to say it at the same time.
Okay, I have one.
You have one
Mhm.
that we both want to star in together.
Mhm.
We both want to star in together. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, great.
1, 2,
3. The
Sunday
last
in the
5
Park
years.
with George.
Oh, George.
We talked about that in the car.
Yes,
so
we did.
he sang through
We
the
did.
whole score of Sunday
We
in the
did.
Park.
Yeah, on one of our long car trips this year, Sunday in the Park with George. Absolutely.
But last 5 years has come up a lot because it's a 2-person show and
Yeah.
we're available for hire.
Yeah. If anybody knows
Ah.
that. But it is a depressing show
Sure
about a
is.
young couple who's married for 5 years and then breaks up.
Uh-oh.
So it's not, but maybe it'd be like catharsis. We could
Right.
just be like, ooh,
Oh.
yeah, this is like our version of like marital therapy or something.
Marriage counseling.
Okay, one more question here. What famous actor would Joe most like to work with in the future? And then what famous actor would Alex like to work with in the future? So first, let's answer Joe.
Mm. Who would
Oh my
Alex
gosh.
most want to work with? I have yours, but it's kind of a cheat because it's actually somebody that you've already worked with.
Oh.
But she got to do Sweeney Todd with Stephen Sondheim, and she that was the most.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's my hero.
he like she got to go over to his house. She got to like talk to him about his puzzles. There's a framed. Where is it? It's up. There's the letter from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other.
Wait, no, I know who you'd want to work with.
My
literally-
mom just put it in the
Did
chat.
she?
made-
I didn't see it.
You
it.
didn't see? Okay.
Scout's honor.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I literally-
My mom just put that in the chat. Look.
Did you?
A bonus for Sandy. She got it right. Yeah.
Why did it take me so long? I literally called you when he was in
Um,
Mockingbird, and I was walking to work at Come From Away,
I can't remember.
and he was carrying a lunchbox, and
Oh my-
he was like, Joe Carroll, Joe, Jeff Daniels packs his lunch. He packs his lunch.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels is my hero.
Yeah.
I want.
Maybe we can get him on the show. What do you think? He's from Michigan. Might be able to
Yeah,
get him on the show.
He is. I'm gonna. That's
strings.
That's great.
Yeah.
Also, yes, Jeff Daniels is my hero. For you, Regina Spektor. If Regina Spektor
love
would have read a
her.
musical, one of her favorite artists is Regina Spektor, and that woman needs to write a musical. And so I think it's gonna happen. I think Alex is gonna start it. I'm just putting it.
Very
out
cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. Well, guys, I actually have a lot more questions, but I know that our audience really wants to hear more from you, less from me. And I know that you guys have a lot to talk about Come From Away, which opens the Broadway GR season in September. After this long intermission that we've had, we cannot wait to open with this incredible show. So, guys, tell us all about it.
You got it.
Okay.
Come From Away. Why don't you tell us about Come From Away a little bit? Because
Well-
even just like what is it about? What is the show for people that don't know? Because it actually flew under the radar in New York. It is a hit. It's a Broadway hit. It's going to come back. It's been selling very well, but a lot of people don't necessarily know about it.
Yeah, it's sort of like the little show that could. It's like it really got its popularity through word of mouth. I think like people came and saw the show like you have to see Come From Away, and some people are like come fly away, come far away, come go there. Anyway,
Go there.
But it's about a small town of Gander, Newfoundland, and Newfoundland, not Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
And when the terrorist attacks happened on 9/11, all of the airspace over the United States was closed. So 38 planes were grounded there in the span of 2 hours. And the population of this town tripled. And it's the story of how this small town welcomes the world during a time of tragedy and they're kind. It's about human kindness is really what the story is about. It is around the events of 9/11, but it's a story of the resiliency and kindness of this town.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things that we've talked a lot about is like, it's a show about human kindness, like you just said.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to hit even harder after the pandemic comes to an end, peters out or whatever the hell it's going to do, that people have been leaning on each other. People have needed each other. There's been endless stories about heroes in this time that like being able to watch Come From Away from the seats, I think is going to be very powerful.
I think so too.
What do you remember? I want to talk about Julie River in a minute. But what do you remember? Oh, sorry, she can't hear. Okay, sorry.
Oh no. Sorry, Jerry.
Well, speak up. I was just asking about what you remember from your time at Come From Away, and one of the things that I remember from your partner is just performing on 9/11.
Yeah.
3 times.
2 times.
3 times.
No, we didn't have a show on 9/11.
You didn't actually. That's right.
My
that's
first
right.
year.
Right, but
I
you were there.
joined.
Right.
I joined right before September 11th. Are we still having audio?
Oh shoot.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Do you want me to plug it back in?
No. Well, maybe. Yeah, give it a shot.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry. Technical difficulties. Oh, Mom can hear.
Oh. I can't even plug this back in. That way, Joe. There we go.
Oh shoot. Sorry, everybody. All right. Sorry, everybody. Oh my gosh.
It's going well.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Okay,
We're okay?
we're back.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay.
Sorry.
So performing around 9/11.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of a wild experience. I mean, everyone you talk to, where everyone remembers where they were on 9/11. I remember when we were 10,
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
So everybody comes with their very specific experience. We constantly had people coming to the show who were first responders at 9/11, or who had lost people, or who were plane people who were deserted in Gander. So people
And
come.
the plane people, that's what the people
The
in
plane
Gander. People in Gander called the people who had landed
The
in the
plane
town
people.
the plane people.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Good catch. I didn't realize I did it. So there's a lot of emotional weight just that people are carrying when they come to see the show on this particular day, and even on any other day. And I think what's really unique about the show is that all the characters, we talk directly to the audience. So there really is a bond that you form with each audience, and each audience is different because it very much feels like a conversation. And I know, just speaking on behalf of the company, we always wanted to take care of the audience and make them feel safe, and sort of take them on this journey in a way that they could express whatever it is that came up for them as the story would go on.
Yeah.
And the audiences on 9/11 were always incredibly moving, and all of us, took our jobs extra seriously that day. Not that we don't on any other day, but they're just some extra care.
Yeah, and it'll be really emotional, I think, for the Broadway Grand Rapids crew.
Mm-hmm.
That it is the 20th anniversary of 9/11 this fall, and so it's going to be really, really great to have that show come back and to sort of lead us, hopefully, back into live theater.
Yeah.
So this was kind of cool. So we're about to sing something, but first, Julie Ryber came to Grand Rapids and did a performance of this. She was in the Broadway company.
Yep.
She came to Grand Rapids with Beverly Bass to do a press event for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Julie Ryber. Can we talk about her for a second?
Yeah.
So maybe anybody saw her do that press event.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you saw her, but Julie is she's like an older sister to me. Right when I moved to New York after tour, I was subletting in an apartment with a bunch of girls, and one of them was like, "Hey, do you babysit?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Are you comfortable with infants?" And I said, "Absolutely." So I went over and it was Julie's house. She had Toon, is her daughter, who was had just turned one, about to turn one, and I became their regular babysitter. And when Julie got pregnant with her second, I literally had the go bag and got the call at 4 a.m. when her water broke, and went over and was at her house for 2 days and got to be there when the sisters met each other the first time. And so she's just been such a huge part of my life here in New York, and she's always the one that's helping me find auditions, and I think you should take this class, and just really has looked out for me. And so she's a standby and come from away and joined the company right after the Tony Awards, right around the Tony Awards. And she knew that the woman, Kendra Cassabaum, who originated Janice and Others, was leaving the company.
The role that Alex played in the show.
Which is the role that I played in the show. And Julie called me and said, "Hey, girl, get your butt in there. You're perfect for it." And so she alerted me to the audition to be like, "Hello, will you see me, please?" And she also, I got the material. I hadn't seen the show because I was in Sweeney Todd at the time. And I had to do "Please do your best Gander accent." I'm like, "What is that? You can't find it anywhere." And she sent me "This is the Gander accent. This is how you do it." So she helped me.
She coached you through all of that stuff.
Yes.
And that leads us to our next segment and final segment before Alex sings, which we're going to recreate a little bit of Alex's audition.
Oh, God.
Because in the show, is it 8 act or 12 12 actors play like 70 characters.
Yeah.
Tons of accents, people from all over the world, all over the place. Just 12 actors, 12 chairs playing pretend. And it is so cool. So in your audition, you had to do some accents.
I did.
And so the line, and we just happen to have an entire Come From Away script here.
I wondered why you got that out.
The line
Okay.
from the audition, the line is, "Tray tables up, please. We will be dimming the lights in the cabin. Pushing the light bulb button will turn your reading light on. However, pushing the flight attendant button will not turn your flight attendant on."
Yeah. Okay.
So now we're going to do what I like to call an accent roulette wheel of doom.
Great.
So
I literally just felt myself start to nervous
I
sweat.
swear to God, this will be over so soon. We're getting to the end.
I booked the
Okay.
job once.
I know, you did it. So, accent number 1, Southern.
Okay. That's what it actually is in the show, so I can do that.
Okay.
Tray tables up, please. We will be dimming the lights in the cabin. Pushing your light bulb button will turn your reading light on. However, pushing your flight attendant button will not turn your flight attendant on.
Australian.
Tray tables up, please. We will be dimming the lights in the cabin. Pushing your light bulb button will turn your reading light on. However, pushing your flight attendant button will not turn your flight attendant on.
New Yorker.
That was iffy. Tray tables up, please. We will be dimming the lights in the cabin. Pushing your light bulb button will turn your reading light on. However, pushing your flight attendant button will not turn your flight attendant on.
Russian.
I hate Okay. Tray tables up, please. We will be dimming the lights in the cabin. Pushing your light bulb button will turn your reading light on. However, pushing your flight attendant button will not turn your flight attendant on.
Yay!
Those were questionable.
But in your audition, you did the flight attendant as a
Yes.
Russian.
I did.
And it was like, and what Chris Ashley, the director, said that it
Everybody
sounded like
burst out
yeah,
laughing,
yes.
and Christopher Ashley was like, "That's like if a member of the KGB was the flight attendant."
Unbelievable. Unbelievably hilarious. So thank you all for joining us. We're gonna do a little something. What do you think?
Little
about this?
something.
Is this okay?
Oh yeah.
We'll sing a little something.
Let's do it. Let's hope the sound works.
Let's hope the sound works. And if it gets too a little too loud or something, just like too bad.
Sorry.
This what is this song about? Where does this take place?
This song is called "Me in the Sky." It's the song that Captain Beverly Bass sings in the show, and it's her story to how she became the first female captain in history of airplanes, and her tale over how she found out she was flying during 9/11. So this is her song in the show. My parents must have thought they had a crazy kid, 'cause I was one of those kids who always knew what I wanted. They took me down to the airport to see all the planes depart, and watching them fly, something inside of me was starting. I was 8 when I told them that I'd be a pilot. But I was too young and too short, and there were no female captains. And my dad said, "Be patient." He said, "Just see what happens." I took my first lesson, came down from the sky, and told my father I'd fly for the rest of my life. And I got my first job flying for a mortician in a tiny Bonanza, just a corpse and me. $5 an hour for flying dead bodies. I had to climb over their faces just to get to my seat. And suddenly the wheels lift off, the ground is falling backwards. I am suddenly alive. Suddenly I'm in the cockpit. Suddenly everything's changed. Suddenly I'm not too young or too short, and the passengers in the back don't complain. Suddenly I'm flying company charters. Suddenly everything's high. Suddenly there's nothing in between me and the sky.
had the prettiest place. So I applied as a flight engineer. But the World War II pilots, they'd all complain. They said girls shouldn't be in the cockpit. Hey lady, hey baby, hey, why don't you grab us a drink? And the flight attendants weren't my friends back then. And they said, are you better than us, do you think? But I kept getting higher. And the World War II crew, they retired. And the girls all thought much higher of me. 1986, the first female American captain in history. Suddenly I'm in the cockpit. Suddenly I've got my wings. Suddenly all of those pilots are testing me. Well, they can get their own drinks. Ha! Suddenly there's no one saying stay grounded. Looking down, passing by. Suddenly there's nothing in between me and the sky. Suddenly I've got an all-female crew. The news caught, made headlines across the world. Suddenly it stopped. No one saying you can't or you won't or you know you're not anything 'cause you're a girl. Suddenly I'm getting married and we're putting pins on the map where we've flown. Suddenly I am a mother and suddenly shocked at how much they've grown. Suddenly I'm wondering how my parents would feel seeing me teaching men to be pilots. Suddenly I am a senior instructor and somehow I'm 51. Suddenly I'm flying Paris to Dallas, across the Atlantic and feeling calm. When suddenly someone on air-to-air traffic says at 8:46 there's been a terrorist action, and the one thing I loved more than anything was used as the bomb. Suddenly I'm in a hotel. Suddenly something has died. Suddenly there's something in between me and the sky.
Yay, Alex!
Hey, good job there.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. You're pretty
That
good.
was awesome. That was awesome. That is just about all the time that we have. I love you
I love you.
so much. Thank you for dealing with all of my crazy ideas. This was so much fun.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome. Thanks for having me, Grand Rapids.
That's Alex Finke. And next week, not next week, what are we doing? On March 4th, we're skipping 2 weeks. But the next person on Backstage Stories for Broadway Grand Rapids is going to be my friend Mikey Winslow. We love him. He is Grand Rapids Theater royalty, American Idiot, West Side Story, Hamilton, Wicked, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, On the Town, Care Ballet, and most importantly, a chorus line at Grand Rapids Civic Theater
Look
with
at
me. Look at
him.
he has the best head of hair on Broadway and possibly in West Michigan. We love him. That's going to be March 4th at the same time. Thank you for tuning in. Stay healthy. Thank you. We love you. Bye, Mom.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.